Hey guys, my name's Colin Ledbetter. This is the Built Different podcast. We are actually at Busch Stadium today for a blood drive that started in honor of Nate and my partner and I, Nate, when we were shot back in January of 22. We've also got Corey on here with us. Corey, I think
I was not shot.
No, he was not. I think he's going to be donating though as well. Nate and I just got done, so we just wanted to come on and talk a little bit. So, in my time at the hospital, I took 39 units of blood. Nate, I think, took 8.
Maybe. I don't.
That's what I've always heard was 8.
Too long.
So,
But can I interrupt real quick and ask, because those of us who don't know, how much is a unit? 1 pint?
yes, that's a hard question. I think so.
Should we verify?
No.
Verify.
Let's see.
Going to the Google. Ladies, do you know how much is a unit of blood? 1 pint.
Okay.
One pint.
1 pint. So, yeah, a unit of blood is 1 pint.
So you had how many again?
39.
39 pints.
Yep, I think I took most of them that initial day, but
How many pints are in a body?
Um,
We're going to learn something today.
Yeah. There's a reason why I'm not a doctor. Too many numbers.
You said 8-ish on you?
Mm-hmm.
And where were you shot?
I was shot in my upper thigh, which shattered my femur.
Oh. Do you have pins?
Yeah, I have a rod in my leg and 2 screws in my knee and 2 screws in my hip.
yep,
How many pints?
8 to 10.
8 to 10.
8 to 10.
And you took 36.
39. So whenever they were pumping them in, they were coming out. And then the next couple days, I had a couple other surgeries that they had to use to put. See, that's the big thing about like this kind of stuff. Like, it's not just for people who get shot and stuff. It's like if you went in and had to get if Nick had to go get his rod removed or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
You might have to pump blood back in because he's going to bleed out. So that's a big thing to know too. Is like. When people just go in for normal surgeries and stuff, they got to supplement the blood that they're taking out of the body by cutting into the body. So it's used almost every day. I mean, I'm trying to think. So when Nate and I were shot, they had to go down to the blood bank to get more blood to bring back to the hospital because they didn't have enough for us there. And there was also the guy that was involved in their shooting was also there. So there was just a lot of blood needed time. So.
Well, it's kind of interesting to think about too. I think that puts a lot of things in perspective. Like, I'm terrified of needles, so like right now the reason I'm doing this is because I'm filling out my pre-whatever, right? And I've got tattoos. My almost everything under my t-shirt is tattoo.
Right.
But needles scare me. But when you think about the human body only holds 8 to 10 pints, and you can come down here and give a pint, and 8 pints kept you alive, and you need 36 to keep you alive. I think it puts things in perspective from people who might be like, well, maybe I shouldn't donate, or maybe I don't need to donate.
Yeah, I've known a lot of people just to come out and start donating, just that I know personally, but also other people that have just seen stuff, seen news articles and stuff, and that's just why they came and donated. So I think it's just an important thing to know.
For sure.
It seems like the unfortunate part about it is people don't really realize it until something happens where they need it or a family member needs it. That's why building awareness for it is very valuable. So where you can give blood or something like that before it actually comes down to you or someone you care about who actually needs it.
Yeah.
Right.
Where Nate and I worked at, especially like in the summer months, Nate still works there, but especially in the summer months, I remember there was a shooting almost every day. So that's someone going to the hospital bleeding blood every day, at least. And that's just the people we knew about and came into contact with.
Right.
Let alone other people coming for other things and other shootings from other areas. So it's a very, very integral part of human stability, I guess.
Well, like you said, dude, not just people getting shot, because sometimes there's a stigma around that too, right? Like the stigma is like, oh, maybe they deserve it. Well, that's not the case. I mean, you guys are doing your job. You both got shot. But then also, like you said, surgeries and stuff. How many of us know a child or a person who's had to have surgery, but that blood makes a difference?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a very good point. It you just never know. I mean, it could be a family member the next day. I've had my grandpa. I know he had several surgeries throughout his time before he passed, and he took a lot of blood. And that just takes more people coming back in and donating and giving more.
So this particular blood drive was set up because of you two?
Yeah, so the department...
Like here at the stadium?
Mm-hmm. Yep. The department kind of, I guess, sponsored with the book, the Red Cross, and it was right after, I think it was right after we got saw it. It was like March, like around this time, is when they started doing it, so, yep.
Because it took basically, if you really think about donation blood, sorry I keep going back to these numbers, but it's kind of like a realization. Like I didn't think about it this way before. Same way like when you try and figure out what grade you're in at what age, or how old you were in a certain grade.
Yeah.
Someone told me something like 7 or 8 years ago that blew my mind, and that was you just add or subtract 5. So like in 7th grade, you're 12 years old. And when you're 12 years old, you're in 7th grade because you start at kindergarten at 5.
Yeah.
It changed my whole outlook on life.
Yeah.
So in the same sense, like when I think about 50 people had to donate blood, because you only donate a pint at a time, to keep you two alive.
Yeah, that's wild.
So your two lives were saved, but it took 50 people to save 2 lives.
Yep.
And so you don't think you make that difference, like it takes that many people to make a difference sometimes. So that's kind of crazy.
It's very important. It's become a big goal of mine to get back to my 39 units of blood. This would have been, I'm just going to check this right now so I don't.
What's your blood type?
Mine is AB positive.
Okay.
A positive for me.
A positive?
And then, yeah, so this would be my 7th donated.
All right.
So, and I have other issues, so I can't always donate, but this will be my 7th.
38 to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Getting there. So.
Do you know how many times you can donate per year?
Oh, I think it's like, so it's
I know
every...
today's like, from today, like May 12th or May 8th is the next time we could donate.
I think it's
Oh, it's like every 60 or 90 days or something? I'm not good at math.
Might be like,
I think it's like 3 or 4.
Months?
3 or 4
Weeks.
times in a year that you can donate.
Oh, like basically once a quarter.
Yeah. Yep, essentially, yeah. I don't think it like ends up being exactly 4, so it's like 3 or 4.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I've met tons of people. So they do one in my hometown in Vandalia in my honor as well. And like, there's tons of people that are regular donors. Like, they're giving like, they've gotten like gallons and gallons. And
Yeah, my grandmother was...
Yep. Yeah, there's people that are just severely dedicated to it. And I think that's awesome. I mean,
I bet you, and we don't have to Google this now, but maybe Google it at home. I bet you there's a health benefit to like, because your body replenishes that.
yeah.
Right? Like you don't just lose it forever. So I bet you it's kind of like you're giving yourself an opportunity to make new blood.
yeah.
It's almost like a cleanse or something.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but since I've started giving, like every time I give, like it's like a weight is off of me. Like I feel different. Like I feel more energetic. Yes.
Huh.
It's definitely a unique feeling. Do you feel that way, Nate? Whenever you do that,
Well, I'm
when
sorry.
you give,
Yes.
like I feel like it more energetic and stuff. I don't know what it is, but
Not right away, right?
I mean, like right now, yeah. Like I'm starting to feel it. Like obviously when you get off the bed,
Is that shock?
maybe, probably. My blood comes out really fast.
It's probably a physical and a mental aspect of
Yeah.
it too, because after doing it, you do something good, makes you
Right.
feel a little bit better.
Absolutely.
Are you still on the force?
Yes.
Okay.
Still working at the same district where
Same beat? Do you guys call it a beat, or is that just a TV thing?
we have beats, but we don't
There's
have
like-
enough people to fill beats.
Yeah,
So
like-
Oh.
When I first
What is a beat?
So, a beat would be like we call them areas.
yeah,
Right.
It's essentially like a neighborhood that
Yeah.
you're assigned to, that you're supposed to actively patrol, answer radio assignments,
Okay.
and you're supposed to usually, or the ideal goal is to have at least one officer per beat. And I think we have like 10 beats or something like that. And we don't have enough officers to fill everyone, so technically a beat is not non-existent. You just go wherever.
10,
I don't
15
know,
years
just
ago it
shows.
was, but now at least with St. Louis, there's not really a beat and integrity type thing that used like old cops would
Do
say.
you think there's, in the last year or two, an uptick or resurgence in recruits
No, I think we've dropped off. I think so. I don't know if you've been watching the news, but there's a new bill that's getting passed where the state is actually going to take control of the city police department.
State's going to take control of city? That's almost like martial law, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, if you somewhat like 2012,
Yeah, it was
2012, the city took control of the state, or the city took back control of the police department. So the state had control.
Oh, up until then.
Up until then.
What's that mean for our jurisdictions? Because St. Louis, I don't know if it's unique in the sense, but like 94, when I was younger, like when I was in high school, there was like 94 municipalities.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like that was back when North County and North City still had like every two, like you could get arrested by, or pulled over by like 12 different precincts going down 170.
Yeah.
Like Charlac, what was it right there by Helena Boulevard where my buddy's barbershop is. There's so many little municipalities.
All that stuff.
Do what?
Overland and all those.
Yeah, St. John. St. John.
Yeah.
Well, just like where I live in Kirkwood, it's like Kirkwood, Glendale,
Sunset Hills.
Maplewood, Sunset Hills, DePere. It's very excessive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would have to imagine that like the pay scale gets jacked up because it's uneven. And I know for a fact from working with other organizations that like rural areas, we still have police officers. This is probably why recruitment's down. We still have police officers that are making like 15 to 18 bucks an hour. You can make more money than that at Panda Express.
Yeah.
Like fact.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny because then like our people that pay taxes that always want to talk about, we pay your wage. It's the same situation where we do pay your wage, but we don't pay a very high wage. And then all of us want to complain, I'm putting myself into it as a civilian, that we don't have enough police or we don't like the police that we have or this and that. You got to have a strong conviction, I think, to work and put your life on the line for 16 bucks an hour.
Yeah. You do. No, I think that's a fair point, and I think I don't know what the future holds for the especially SLMPD. It's definitely going to be a whirlwind coming back under state control and stuff like that. A lot of people don't want state control within the city. I know a lot of the officers do, I think, just because of the different pay that they're going to receive. We're going to get more pay from the state.
Well, being under state control, we have a leader, for lack of a better term, who's in support of the police versus the mayor of St. Louis, who was more so wanted to defund our department.
Yeah. There was a big debate tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys watching that?
Probably not.
You have any interest in the outcome though?
No. I mean, it is what it is. Regardless of whoever wins, I'm still going to be doing the same thing in the same place.
Yeah. All right. I guess that makes sense.
And I mean, I only have 6 years on, so it doesn't affect me as much as it might affect someone who's closer to retirement.
Yeah.
6 years old.
They're taking old guys now too. There used to be a cutoff.
Yeah.
But I remember going to so you met, oh, you know what? That's another buddy of mine I get connected with. So Matt started a Archway Fireman Scholarship Foundation that I work with Chris Jones through. Chris Jones is the guy who's in charge of he's the chief over the fire academy now for county.
Okay.
Matt Colombo had started an organization a while back and do a skate night, and we raised funds for to put individuals through EMT, fire, or paramedic school. And there was an officer there from the recruitment office of St. Louis County PD, and I went over and got the swag or whatever the rubber band was for your wrist off the thing to support and made a little donation. It's like, you ever think about joining? I'm like, oh, sorry, At the time I was 39, so now I'm 41. I was like, no, I'm too old anyway. She's like, no, you can still join right now. And I was like, I can't even imagine like being 40 years old and joining the force, like trying to keep up with dudes your age.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
would be crazy. And there's a few guys in the department that I feel like have done that,
there's a guy in my academy class that was probably 45.
Really?
No. And he lasted a year or two. But he was like high up in the military where he was like writing all the speeches for the commanders and was very tech savvy.
So you went from an officer back down to the bottom rung and didn't like it?
No. And he actually got set up a meeting with the chief and wrote like a 5 to 10 page paper about everything that's wrong with the department. And he said, the chief was like, what if I give you a spot like in the office or something, my office? And he's like, no, I don't want to work here. And just quit on the job right there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, and that would, I feel like that would be the biggest issue for me is joining, you know, you got all this life experience now, and then you're right back down to getting told what to do. And
It's difficult for any person to do, let alone probably someone who, if they're in the military that long, it's probably right after high school. Mm-hmm. So they probably set up to be bottom rung for a long time before they had to raise up. What is that like? So like, new recruits, do you guys get the tough hours? Are you always alternating hours? Is there ways, have we delegated things out now to where like you can say, are you applying for a night shift versus a day shift? Is there 3 shifts? And like, what is that? How does that look like, right? There's 3 shifts typically?
yeah, there's 3 shifts, 3-hour shifts.
But you can't come on as a rookie and be like, or do you search around and say like, I'm looking for a department that's looking for a 3rd shift guy?
You get, what is it, your top 3? Coming out of the academy, you get top 3 picks for districts.
Oh.
So you'll be like, hey.
Can you search districts by what positions are open?
So pretty much any position's open, but whenever you, for some reason, they want people on night watch. So if you want to go to night watch, you will get that, or whichever district that you're assigned.
Yeah. In a
Then-
heartbeat.
If you say, hey, I want District 5 and I want night watch, you're going. Like, it's a done deal.
But if there's not enough people who want to go to night watch,
But if I wanted like Creve Corps, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., first assignment out, I'm probably not getting that.
that just depends on the department.
Oh.
You know, it's some people like working nights because they get all the daytime to spend with their children. And then, I mean, there's usually always a little bit of a pay increase working nights, as well as it's usually not as busy.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're allowed to reveal this information, but I know the first time we talked on a show, we were going like a Mythbusters type of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, is it really illegal to drive the dome light on, that kind of stuff? And one of the things I was thinking about is, what I've noticed throughout my years is there's a certain time period, early morning, where I don't see any police officers out. Is there a shift change that is, we won't talk about what the time is, but is there a shift change that is like almost like universal and that like every time between these 2 hours, most precincts are changing over?
I would say so. Like,
I'm not asking because I'm going to rob a bank or anything.
Oh, no.
I'd say in your morning shifts, you know. You're probably your morning shifts. Like I would say a lot of departments probably be same hours.
Yeah.
Getting off on mornings. You know, like, I just feel.
You don't hear a lot about a crime taking place between 5 and 7 a.m.
Right.
Right.
Yep. And that's kind of like where our changeovers at. That's kind of where, like, the counties do, I think, and, you know, people like that. So I would say, yeah, that's pretty fair.
I guess better
Like if I was a gang though, like a bank robbing gang, I would call ourselves the early birds, and we would rob banks at like 6:30 in the morning.
make it a little earlier.
Early birds strike again.
Yeah. That'd be good.
I have a different time in my mind that's a 2-hour sequence, but I just didn't say it because it's like you don't want to give away the strategy.
No, that's good.
Early bird gang. So when it comes to this, we talk about the importance of a blood drive and what it means to you guys to have this kind of done your name. How else are you getting the word out? Because I want to make sure that next year we got like pilots on, because this is cool. Like most of the time you go to a blood drive, it's in like a little mobile unit, or in the past when I've done it, it's in a little mobile unit and you get like an orange, maybe a pizza slice, a juice box. But in here you can pick from all these different cool Cardinals things, right?
Yep.
So how do we know how all we get the word out, or are we? How do people find out about when this next one is here? Is this an annual?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
an annual thing, not around the same time. And I could definitely get some more of that information to push out too. But typically they start, I think, talking about this in like early junior, I think. If I remember, this from last year, but
Okay.
I think that's kind of the time they start promoting it and putting it out there. So
Do the Cardinals do anything in particular besides this blood drive for first responders? that you know of?
Yeah, I mean they do. They have the first responders night, and I think it's even individualized. Like they have. I think they do.
It's the biggest night of crime in the city because everybody's at the game.
I think they do.
Having a beer.
All the cops are at the game. Let's go.
They have. So they have a police night. So I'm sure they do like a firefighter and EMS night as well.
Okay.
So they do them all separate. So.
And then I think they have a Guns and Hoses one separately as well,
Yep. Yeah, they do.
or portions of tickets, food sales.
Go to Backstoppers.
Yep.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they do a lot. So definitely very heavily involved. This blood drive has been going on since, is it 2022?
Yes.
Okay. So like right after Nate and I got shot, I know the police department partnered with the Red Cross and we started doing this blood drive here at Busch Stadium. Do you know how many units you guys have collected since then?
This drive today, we're aiming for around 30 units, and I think each year it's been a similar number for the drives.
Okay.
So it's been great to just have the drive right after the winter months because that's when we always see a dip in donations.
Right. That's awesome. So on average, like 30 units, you think?
I think so.
Okay. And I'm trying to think. I've been coming to this one, I guess, since I was shot. Nate, this is his first time, I think, coming with me, but it's kind of cool just to see it change. Usually we're in a different room. Usually it's down on, is it 8th? Yeah.
Yes.
So it's kind of neat to see this kind of change too. But how long have you been with the Red Cross?
I started in 2018.
Okay. And what's your title?
Communications director.
Okay.
For the
Okay.
area.
How many blood drives do you guys have throughout the year that you kind of manage and watch?
We have, in the St. Louis area, we have almost a dozen drives a day and during the week, Monday through Friday, and throughout the Missouri and Arkansas region, we're having drives constantly, just through all the time.
And let's talk about how important it is to give blood. I mean, there's always a blood shortage. Let's just talk a little bit about that. So
Yeah, throughout the year, we kind of see ebbs and flows of the amount of blood. We always need blood, of course, but there's certain times where, as you mentioned, we get to that point where we're really calling it, this is an actual shortage because there's just not enough blood on the shelves. So if somebody comes into the hospital and has an emergency like you did, there might not be 39 units available if we're getting to these really difficult times. So it just is always important to keep enough blood on the shelves where we don't get to that point where we're literally having to make decisions about, do we need to get blood from somewhere else and ship it to this hospital, which we can do within the Red Cross because we are a national blood bank. So it allows us to move blood around to areas that might be seeing a drop in donations in a particular area, but oftentimes we see it happening all at the same time because it's coming when there's a lot of situations that across the country that are the same with lots of cold weather, cancellations of drives or sickness, as we've seen a lot of sickness impacting drives in the recent weeks and months. So it is just so important to have a constant supply, and that's why we're always offering opportunities for people to donate.
what's the most important blood type?
O negative is the one that's available to be used on anyone, regardless of their blood type. So that's something that usually, if they're in a really critical situation in an emergency room and they don't have time to check, they'll use O negative. O positive can be given to anybody who has a positive type of blood. So that's another one that is always in high demand. So those two are the ones that, if you donate often, you often get calls from us saying, please come back. But we need all types, and so we do encourage it. Regardless of your blood type, please consider donating.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, it was fun hanging out here at the blood drive. If you're feeling the need or you want to donate, definitely get out there, find a blood bank. You can search it, redcross.com, and find the nearest blood bank near you. Thanks.